Ronald McDonald House is a charity. Basically, their mission is keeping families close. So what they really want to do is, through the hardest time of your life, whether you have a sick child or the unimaginable happens, they want you to be close to your child and not have to worry about where you're going to stay, where you're going to eat, and how you're going to be able to pay for that.
Hello, meat folks. Welcome back to the MeatsPad podcast. It is your happy and hungry host, Phil Bass. We have someone with us who, Amy Seward, who is with Tyson Foods, and we'll get to that. We will get to that point. But there's another objective of this message today, and it is a project that Amy has been helping to lead within the American Meat Science Association, especially here at the Reciprocal Meat Conference in Oklahoma City this year, and that is the Ronald McDonald House Charities, and we have a little bit of a project here, an opportunity for us to give back and us to serve. And so, Amy, first off, thanks for joining us on MeatsPad.
Sure, good to be here.
Yeah. So maybe first off, can you share a little bit about Ronald McDonald House, which I learned a ton about from our speaker earlier today. I didn't really understand what it is, and then we'll get into some of the details of the project.
Yeah, so I'd be happy to do that. Ronald McDonald House is a charity that is partially sponsored by the McDonald's Corporation, and basically that charity provides housing, whether that be short-term, long-term, even down to the level of care mobiles that provides some kind of dental care for people that in need. Basically, their mission is keeping families close.
Yeah.
So what they really want to do is, through the hardest time of your life, whether you have a sick child or the unimaginable happens, they want you to be close to your child and not have to worry about where you're going to stay, where you're going to eat, and how you're going to be able to pay for that.
Yeah. Well, it was fascinating to hear our speaker talk about how it was started, which it literally was a house that they bought close by to their hospital, and so that parents with sick children in the hospital didn't have to go very far.
Right.
And especially considering staying at a hotel close by, that could become very expensive very quickly.
Yes.
But on top of that, it's about caring for the body at the same time for the parents and for the family. And it's not, it's tough to sustain oneself on vending machine food and things like that might be the only thing available in certain cases. And so that kind of leads a little bit into the project that we had here. So maybe share a little bit about our project that was done here.
So we decided to do a community service project starting last year, and we did basically the same project for Minnesota Public Schools. So we asked some of the key members of AMSA to provide shelf-stable protein to pack into bags to be able to give to the school district for children that may not have an opportunity to have a meal. And I think hunger is something that definitely we face in this country. And I saw a billboard the other day that hunger is hard to recognize. So you don't always look at somebody and think they might be hungry.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit of a different challenge. But Susan talked this morning about the parents that don't want to leave the hospital, or they go to the hospital in the morning not knowing what they're going to expect for the day or what's going to happen, whether it's tests or maybe even a surgery. And so this opportunity really gave them a chance to pick up one of these bags filled with shelf-stable protein donated by 7 of our different AMSA members companies, and take it to the hospital with them. So if they have to grab a bite, she talked about how much protein is an important part of the diet for the houses as well, as far as donations, or even just to grab one and take it to their room if they need a snack. So that was kind of the motivation behind it. I'm lucky to work for Tyson Foods. We are McDonald's largest global supplier.
Wow.
And so our McDonald's business unit always says, that's our charity of choice, and it really is.
Yeah.
So we support them all the way from the Global Impact Fund globally, all the way down to the local chapter level, whether that's participating or sponsoring a golf tournament, which many of them have. I think the Oklahoma City one's actually this afternoon.
Okay.
So Susan was heading there after she left today. And even Meals from the Heart. So that's a really cool program where they They provide lunch and dinner. Most houses provide lunch and dinner every day. So they give companies or organizations an opportunity to sign up to prepare these meals. And it's kind of like a chef for a day. So you get to, some houses, actually the larger ones in Chicago, actually have their own chef on staff. So that's a little bit different. They actually procure all of the food and the ingredients, and then you go in and make the recipe, all the way down to the smaller chapters where you actually go grocery shop and you come up with your own menu, and then you go in as a team and cook dinner for the house. And it's really fulfilling, because you see the families start to come in, and you can see the look on their face. Some of them may have had a good day, or you can tell when they've had a bad day.
Yeah.
Some have their children with them if they're not, in the hospital and able to be like on an outpatient basis. But that if they don't have their child, that they're, facing a night probably without seeing their child until the next morning. But it's great. I love to do that. We do it as an R&D team. So I'm actually a principal food scientist on our global McDonald's R&D business. So our R&D team gets together and does that, and so do some of our sales teams as well.
There's something about human nature that just feels so good to help others.
It does.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, I don't think you've done it yet. So
Right,
give it a try,
Right.
These are folks that are really struggling in some cases. And it's tough to keep a positive outlook on things if you are indeed hungry or you're not getting the right nutrients.
Right,
And so
right.
this is an opportunity. It's not, it's hard for us all to go in and maybe have that conversation with somebody, but we can at least give them something to fill their belly, that's going to make them feel good, that also tastes really good as well.
Right.
And so when the project was happening, and I was actually today, we started around 9:15 or so filling bags. How many bags did we get filled?
800.
800 bags with
Yes.
some pretty good goodies in there. And it's not just junk food, guys.
No,
This is
it's
definitely
not.
high quality protein that's also shelf stable, so we don't have to worry about refrigeration, of course. But I'll tell you something. So I went in there, and I did get a chance to fill a couple bags, and it felt good to
Nice.
do that. We got to write a couple notes for whoever it is that the anonymous receiver that's
Right.
out there.
That was kind of nice too. They got to
yeah.
write on the back of the card,
Yeah.
I saw some "Have a good day."
Exactly.
Hope your child gets better soon.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Well, people, even though it's just a very small snapshot moment in time for you that you're writing it, it will make a difference in somebody's day. I went back after I went around and was visiting with some other folks throughout the day, I went back and long before lunch, that room was done.
I think they were done by like 10:30.
We filled 800
800
bags.
yes.
And I was hoping to go back in there and maybe fill a couple more. And so it was amazing to see the giving nature of our little family here, the
Right.
AMSA family.
And that was primarily undergraduate and graduate students. That was
Yeah.
like kind of their community, their actual project. So
Yeah.
it was nice to see them in there. And one thing that really I was really proud of. So after Susan got done today, she had a graduate student from Texas A&M come up and stop her and say, "Wow, I had no idea what Ronald McDonald House was really about,
Yeah.
but I want to get involved. How can I get involved?" And so I suggested that some of the meat science students at Texas A&M, they are huge on barbecue, right? And
Yeah.
they have the barbecue boot camp and some of those things. I said, make some barbecue, go
Yeah.
serve a meal. And she's like,
Yes.
"That's a great idea. I'm going to take it back to the team." So I think whether it's donating to a cause like RMHC or even giving back to AMSA, it's really great to get our students involved at a young age and really kind of cement that mindset in them to always contribute and give back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is just fantastic. And I appreciate you helping lead this charge.
Sure.
And I'm looking forward to the next one. And hopefully we do have plans for another at some point. Maybe just let's shift gears just a little bit. And I want to hear, you already mentioned you're a research scientist with Tyson Foods. And without telling the whole story maybe, but tell us just a little bit about what that means. What is it that you guys work on?
So we're kind of structured within the U.S., our U.S. business, and McDonald's has 14,000 plus restaurants in the U.S., so huge business, right? And then we're also located outside of the United States. So we have operations in Australia, Thailand, Malaysia, Korea, and China.
Wow.
So I support the global business. So we just basically work on standardization of products around the globe.
Okay.
And then one neat thing that McDonald's has is they have what they call their global flagship restaurant. So there's only one of these, and it's located in their corporate office in Chicago. So
Okay.
they bring in products from around the globe on a quarterly basis. So they feature a chicken item, a beef item, a side, and a dessert.
Okay.
So those four rotate quarterly. So they might say, we want to bring in the McSpicy chicken, which is on the menu now, that we produce in Thailand for Singapore. So we can't bring product in from Thailand. So we have to localize that to the United States. So that's one of my main responsibilities is supporting that menu.
To recreate that.
Recreate that, wow. Yes. And it's really cool to see it come to life in the U.S.
Yeah, absolutely. Bringing global tastes in too, in a very pun intended, I guess, consumable manner, in a very digestible manner, right?
So they call that actually the global favorites. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
How cool. Well, and I like to ask our interviewees, how did you get into meat science? You know, many of us stumble into it. Some of us with the crowd that's out there in the hallway, some of them were born into it.
Right. Absolutely.
But tell us a little bit about how you became a meat scientist.
So I got a livestock judging scholarship to go to Oklahoma State University.
Really?
Yeah. So I got my undergraduate in animal science. And then my junior year, I took Animal Science 3333, which is fondly referred to as Blood and Guts at Oklahoma State. And I absolutely loved the class. And by the end of that semester, I knew that I wanted to get my master's in meat science. I was lucky that Brad Morgan took me under his wing, and I was able to study under him. So yeah, and then my first job in my career was Advanced Food Company. So I was actually in quality assurance, really wanting to move into a research and development role. At that time, their research group was very small. So I interviewed for a position at Tyson and started on the school food service broadline distribution accounts. And then I did that for 2 years and then moved on to McDonald's on the U.S. business. Did that for about 15, and the last 3 have been on the global side of the business.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Well, you know, just a testament for those that are out there that maybe you don't know what you want to do. And honestly, I just tell people, I get this all the time with students, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I say, neither do I. I'm just doing this right now. But you know, go where life takes you. Yes. And you never know where it's going to take you.
Right.
And this is really cool what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think at the career fair yesterday, I had an opportunity to talk to a lot of different students, and a lot of them say the same thing. I don't really know, but one thing that's very awesome for our students is the diversity of internships that are available through AMSA members. So they can, you might want to do a summer in research and development and then move into operations or into quality assurance. So I think it definitely gives them an opportunity to kind of vet out what they might want to do.
There's an opportunity for everyone out there. Yeah, and you don't have to just work on the harvest floor. There's so many other ways that you can become involved. And so, well, awesome. Amy, thank you so much. Real quick, if you don't mind, can you share who some of the donors were that contributed to the bags that we made this time?
Yes, we were lucky to have 7. So Tyson Foods, Ram Country Meats, ConAgra, Oklahoma State University Food and Ag Product Center, Ralph's Packing, Oklahoma Pork Council, and Oklahoma Beef Council.
Awesome. Well, for those that are out there, I hope you can look some of those folks up, support them in any way that you can, and we appreciate those who did donate to the cause. It's
Absolutely.
really cool.
It was
really,
great.
really cool. So thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Phil.
Awesome.